Joy and welcome to my studio. Today we're working on our recycled jar fall leaf display, and what I want you to know is you can always decorate just with simple things that may be around you. So today we're just using fall leaves. We're going outside picking up the fall leaves, and I'm picking up when they're dry but they're not quite brittle yet. They're still kind of bendable. So we can get them into our jars. I'm using recycled jars that I had. This is actually a pickle jar that I used, and I spray painted my lid gold because it was this bright green. So just everyday items you have around. There's also beautiful decorative glass jars that you can use, that you can change with for every season, and I would love to get some of those as well. So the first thing we're going to start is with our leaves. You want to take your Mod Podge, and I stayed with matte because my leaves have a matte look now that they've done the fall, but you may like the satin. I kind of would stay away from the gloss, but that's totally a personal opinion. But just the regular Mod Podge, I pour it into a container, and I use my old brush, and I brush one side, let it dry, flip it over, and brush the other side. And what it does is it seals the leaf, and they found out that Mod Podge helps keep the color of the leaf as well, so it keeps it nice and bright and fresh. But you don't want to do this when they're crispy, and I always suggest put it in the container, so if you get some of that crispy leaf stuff, it's not all in your Mod Podge. So that's just a little trick. And I did all kinds of leaves that I could find. I did red ones, I did yellow ones, I did all kinds of fun stuff. Another thing to do that I really like is to take your leaves that have turned more brown, it works better with that, and spray them with a gold spray paint, and then we get these really nice accent leaves. And we're just going to start putting them into our jar. Now it's better if you have them more bent in shape than laying them flat. This one was kind of more in layers. I kind of did it in layers, but you can see how they're laying down more, and you really want them more fluff and full, like we've kind of got this guy here. So we can put our gold in with our bright yellow and bright red leaves. We've got leaves falling from the tree here, and just to give it that real fun accent color. And if you're building this from the bottom as you're working, that really helps. But just a couple of the gold leaves really set this off. Some of the other items that you have outside that can kind of help break up the flatness of the leaf is your pine cones. And if you have different types of pine cones, big, little, medium, I wouldn't go too big, not much bigger than that one that I just put in right there. But as you're building that up, you have all of these different items, and then keep going with your leaves, kind of doing them different colors. Another thing is you might like one jar for one type of leaf, which would be really cool, and another jar for another type of leaf. So there's all kinds of fun things you can do with that. I've got too much yellow on this side, so we're going to do a green one here. And if you're not where you can get fall leaves, there's probably leftover stuff you have. You probably have fall fake leaves. Don't be afraid to use those. Put some pine cones in with those. I found some big acorns. Acorns would be really cool in this. You're breaking up that color, giving it a different color. I actually had some of these on my website. These are little foam acorns that we used this year. So you can put some acorns in it, but try and keep them so they're not at all one height. They're all kind of different heights, but you start to fill it up. Another thing I wanted was some pop of color, so I took some of these berries that were on a pick, and I'm just going to trim these, and I'm going to stick these here and there in my jar, and just to give it that added pop of color, since my leaves aren't quite as bright. The people in the East and Midwest have brighter color fall items than we do. So there's all kinds of ideas you can do with this. Just really take on this and put your twist to it, what you have around that you may like to use and different things like that. Try, like I said, keep it loose. Looser the better. You don't want to fill it up all the way, pack it or smash it. And then I took some burlap and I just tied my raffia bow just right around it, and I glued on some pine cones, just real simple, and made it just real. This one I didn't do the burlap on. On this guy, I really liked, we're just going to glue a little owl, burlap owl on the top. I didn't like him on the big jars, but I really liked him on this small jar. And actually I had some little raffia pieces that I was going to place under him to give him that woodsy kind of feel here. And we'll see if we can kind of get him going, just to give it a different look. But isn't that real cute? And that's just a little 99-cent decoration that I picked up. But all the rest of us, including the burlap and raffia, is stuff that I had or I took off of other items and just recycled it. So really just think outside the box. You even could use pieces of your raffia down in your jar too to give you some different colors. This one I just have some gold leaves, some red and yellow leaves, and a little bit of that fall pick. But there's so many ideas. Just take that from the basics, grow on it, and put your own twist to it. Another idea that I really wanted to share with you is if you take your E6000 and purchase a candle holder, and I go to the Dollar Tree or 99-cent store, but you also can find them at the thrift store, put your E6000 there and glue your jar right on it, and then you really have your wonderful height on your jar, and it looks very elegant and a great display for the fall. Also, have your kids help you collect your leaves. Make it a great family project, and then they will really have pride in it, and it'll mean something to them as well. So if you ever have a question, you can always email me at art@miriamjoy.com, and I'll see if I can help you. Give us a thumbs up on our videos and share them so that we can continue to grow. Thank you. God bless.